Well, as we continue to try and understand the times that we are in, and so we can make wise decisions for ourselves, for our loved ones, and not just for the times we're in, but the times that are coming. It's important to understand the 7 to 14 mountains prophecy. And I'm going to explain this. This is information from our training that we've been using for some time now, but I'm now released to share this publicly because of the urgency of the times that we are in. So I'm going to use the workbook that we use in our leadership training. Go back to the beginning. There we are. I'll quickly review the 7 mountains. This will be common knowledge for most people, but just a quick review. So we're on the same page. Originally, our society was designed on 7 social pillars or mountains, and they are education, business, government, media, religion, family, and art, entertainment, and sport all together on one mountain. Each of these mountains was designed to work interdependently, cooperatively with one another, overlapping to bring order and harmony and peace in our society. And they were to be built on truth. Well, corruption got in some time ago, decades, centuries ago. Corruption got into each of those social mountains. And we find ourselves today in a very unstable society. It's very shaky. With economically, our governments are shaky. Our economies, our families are on shaky ground. Everything seems to be collapsing, and that's because of the corruption and illegal activities and so on within the 7 mountain structure. Well, now it is time. God has given us a new blueprint. It's called the 14 mountain blueprint. It's actually not new. It's actually based on King Solomon's blueprint for building Jerusalem and Israel. And we have that blueprint. It's down. We've received it, and it is written down. We are to build this blueprint, but we're to build it together cooperatively. Anyone can build a sustainable village. Anyone can build it. But this blueprint is designed such that no one person or small group can build it in an isolated fashion. It must be built collaboratively within each sustainable village, but also each sustainable village must be connected and networked all around the world. And Ecclesiastes 4:12 says that one man standing alone is easily defeated. 2 standing back to back are able to defend themselves, but 3 braided together as a cord are undefeatable. So thus we are to build collaboratively all around the world, connected together. Another aspect of this blueprint that's quite fascinating is it provides a safe passage through the times that are coming. Just like the ark was a specific blueprint, and it provided safe passage for Noah and his family to get through the flood and reestablish society on the other side. So this blueprint is very much the same. Let's move forward. So the 14 mountains are they're not almost, they're essentially a parallel society. While the 7 mountains are functioning in however way they are functioning today up here, we are building the 14 mountain blueprints all over the world. I'm going to review the 14 mountains. Some of them are the same name as from the 7 mountains that we have currently, although the design and the blueprint for that mountain is certainly not the same as what it is today. I'm not going to go into detail. Perhaps in another video, I'll describe in more detail each of the 14 mountains, but for today, I'll just review all 14. So we have the Arts Mountain, the Education Mountain, and the Government Mountain. The spiritual mountain is a renaming of the religion mountain. I think we can all agree we're all sick of religion. Religion is actually man's way of controlling God's truth and the administration of it. It's legalistic, it's judgmental, it's unfair, and it's elitist. And so it's been renamed the spiritual mountain, and it encompasses every aspect of who God is. There are people groups, for example, that understand God exceptionally well, particularly the indigenous people. They understand the oneness, the relationship we have with the world, with the land, the animals, the air, the water, and so on. It also encompasses the mysteries, the majesty, the miracles of God, and of course, also an intimate relationship. Let's move forward. The farming mountain is added in from onto the 7 mountains, water and power as well, power being electricity. Entrepreneurship is a renaming of the business mountain, partly for a paradigm shift to think of business differently. Currently, and today's design is the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. But according to this design, God's design is we all grow healthy and wealthy together. And entrepreneurship means expansion and growth and multiplication. We have the family mountain. The security mountain is added in addition to the 7. Communication is a renaming of the media mountain, and it's more robust than the media mountain. It incorporates more things. The sports mountain is split off from the arts mountain because it never really was considered to be entertainment, although it is one of the purposes is fun and enjoyment and recreation, but it's also about mental and physical health. It's about employability. It's about raising leaders and good character. The health mountain is an addition, as well as the housing and transportation mountains. And so there we have the 14 mountains. And you see, we start by building small. We learn as we grow, and we grow as we learn. It's the amazing part of the blueprint is that it unlocks itself. More answers are given as we implement certain things. More of the blueprint is unlocked. So these mountains, you can see, are growing bigger and bigger. Well, we know it has been prophesied for a long time, for at least several years, that God is wiping out all of the evil and the corruption in all this society today. Now, that was prophesied several years ago, like I said, and we're actually seeing it now. We are actually seeing that, and it's actually, he's delivering on that promise. And we're seeing, let's take, for example, government. Government leaders all over the world are being exposed for illegal activity, unethical activity, poor treatment of their people, corruption, theft, and mismanagement of money, and so on. They're being convicted and put in jail. Some of them are actually being assassinated, and some are, they're just being ousted or not reelected. In the sports mountain, which usually used to be part of the entertainment mountain, we're seeing high profile coaches and sport doctors, as well as famous movie directors in Hollywood are being exposed and convicted of sexual abuse and sexual immorality. Do I need to go on? I could go into the spiritual mountain. Spiritual leaders all over the world are being exposed for their corruption, for sexual immorality, for stealing money or misappropriating money. And I'm not talking about just about the Christian church. I'm talking about all the religions are being exposed for their corruption all around the world. We're seeing that in the Middle East right now, as I won't mention names at this point. I think everyone knows. So So he is delivering it. It has started. And so there's an urgency to build. There's an urgency for leaders to come in to bring the puzzle pieces they have to offer, but also be trained up, and we network together and we build together. I will say too, many people have said that we need to take the tops of the mountains. In other words, we need to remove the corrupt leaders and take over and lead with kindness and integrity and honesty. Well, what God has shown me is that won't work. And the reason why is you cannot build a new building on an old foundation. We're called to build skyscrapers, not bungalows. And skyscrapers require deep, wide, and vast foundations that are very secure under the earth so that they can be built much, much higher and stronger to withstand the times that are coming. The old foundations of our society, the old structures will not stand. And so we must build new foundations, and thus we're starting small here. It says that you can't put new wine in an old wineskin. You can't build a new building on an old foundation. It simply doesn't work. All right. So here we have, once God has done his part on wiping out and exposing and wiping out all the corruption and evil in the world, there we are. We're ready to lead, ready to with a brand new society built on truth, built on love and compassion and kindness, fairness and integrity, fair trade, and equal treatment for all. Everyone has a place. That is a part of the blueprint. I've only explained the nuts and bolts. I haven't explained the glue that holds it together, and that's the humanitarian aspect of it. Now, it's also built on truth, as you can see. It's built on where all the mountains are collaborative and interconnected, not just within each sustainable village, but as they're connected around the world, there's collaboration and peace. There's a lot of important aspects to this blueprint, but the most important thing is we must build on a foundation of love. And this is not something that you can build with hammer and nails. This is something you can only build with relationship. When God first started unrolling this blueprint to me over the period of about a couple of months, several years ago, it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant, and it was certainly nothing I could come up with on my own. But as I let it sink in of what this was to look like, I said, God, the foundation has to be love. Only people that can love unconditionally are going to be capable of building such a thing. And so I said, we need to call this love. The name is important. We need to call it love. I felt love was a bit cliche. So I looked up the ancient Hebrew word for love, and I found Hesed. Hesed means a special kind of love. It means a love we can't earn and work for, a love that we don't deserve, and a love that is eternally faithful. And so we named it Hesed International. We developed a training program. I don't want to call it, it's not a program. We developed a training for our leaders, for any leader that is called to build a sustainable village for the new times. People that are like the tribe of Issachar, who understood the times they were in, understood how God was moving in that time, and how they were to move with God. this training unraveled as we went through and started training leaders. It unraveled, and it's very difficult to describe, but I'll do my best. Is that we just came to love one another. It was quite profound, and it can only be experienced. It's very difficult to describe. It can only be experienced. And that is the beauty and the majesty of the blueprint. There are so many invisible things that are very difficult to measure in this blueprint that must be experienced. I want to invite you, if this in any way triggers your imagination or resonates with you, like, I've seen this, I know the blueprint, I hold pieces of the blueprint, or I need to build this, or I need to be a part of this in any way, I invite you to reach out. You can connect with us through our website. The contact information is there at www.hesedinternational.com. Please reach out. We'd love to hear from you. And let's see what puzzle pieces you have for the blueprint. This is another part of the beauty of the blueprint, is each person carries even a small piece of the blueprint that we need. If you feel compelled to invest, we have expenses like purchasing land and training leaders. And so I invite you to invest through our website at www.hesedinternational.com/invest. Finally, I invite you to like and subscribe this video, subscribe to our channel and like this video to get the message out to the right people. We're looking for those leaders. We're looking for those people like the tribe of Issachar, the order of Melchizedek. We're looking for these leaders now to connect with. So I invite you to increase our traffic on whatever social media platform you're viewing this from, so that we can connect together around the world. Well, I look forward to sharing more of the blueprint and details of things that are to come. And of course, if you subscribe, you'll get first-hand notification. We'll see you next time.